Fall meeting for the Ware County Commission. And I'm gonna do a roll call first. Mr. Burris.
Present.
Mr. Pope.
Present.
Mr. Lucas. Here. Mr. Hendricks.
Right.
And the chair's here. Before we start, I'll ask Danny if he would come up and do a prayer for us.
Let's pray. Our God and Father in heaven, we thank you so much, Father, for this beautiful day. We thank you, Father, for all the blessings of life that you've bestowed upon us and our community. And we pray, Father, that as these men gather together today to do the business of the government of Ware County, that you would be with them. Help them, Father, to use their knowledge. Give them wisdom to use it correctly and do those things which are right for every citizen in the community. We thank you, Father, for everybody that makes the government work here. And we pray, Father, that we always look to you for guidance. In Jesus' name we pray, and amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have any guest speakers on the floor?
The only one that I'm aware of that signed up, well, that we were told about was Jason Rosenbauer with WWDA and Miss Bagley, I think. I don't know if she made it. Oh, they did.
They're here, Miss Bagley, okay.
Yeah, so either one. I think,
All right. Jason, you come up, you got something?
Jason,
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Afternoon, Jason.
County Manager reached out to me asking if I would kind of bring you up to speed, just kind of where we're at. I've been on the job now just under a month, or a year and a half, excuse me. So just show you a couple of things that we've done. Got three short videos. One is a video that we produced, we received some grant funds for to help us better promote our community, not just to Georgia, but also to the world. And so this has really helped us a lot. Let's see if I can work technology.
I would consider a community that is looking to welcome you. We are excited to have you, and we're excited to support your business and make you part of our family.
Ware Cross is a great place because number one, we are just full. We have
pause it, Jason, pause it. Can you click pause on it?
We also have CSX Rail, which has the largest processing yard in the eastern United States. We also have a regional airport that has a just under 6,000 foot runway. We have quite a bit of land availability and a lot of other amenities that make it a great place to do business here.
The qualities of the workforce here in Ware Cross is deep. You've got a lot of people that have families here, they're raising children here, and they're committed to earning a living for their families. So they're dedicated, they've got lots of skill sets, so we've got lots.
I would pitch the community as a community that is looking to welcome you. We are excited to have you, and we're excited to support your business and make you part of our family.
We have three major U.S. highways that are 4 lanes that intersect our community. We also have CSX Rail, which has the largest processing yard in the eastern United States. We also have a regional airport that has a just under 6,000 foot runway. We have quite a bit of land availability and a lot of other amenities that would make it a great place to do business here.
The qualities of the workforce here in Ware Cross is deep. You've got a lot of people that have families here, they're raising children here, and they're committed to earning a living for their families. So they're dedicated, they've got lots of skill sets, so we've got lots of skill here.
We have what we think is a great relationship with our local industries, businesses, our communities, and we work with them in a variety of ways. One thing that every one of our programs has to have, we require the program to have what's called a program advisory. And that's composed of people in that field from local provide our faculty input into our curriculum, input into the equipment that we have, all in an effort to keep our programs up to date with what the industry needs are today, not 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but today as well as going forward tomorrow and planning for the future. So we rely upon industry to be a vital contributor to designing and developing what we do in our program.
Thriving and surviving is what I would call businesses in Ware Cross. We've had businesses that have just grown out of nowhere. We look around and someone has an idea and they create a business around that idea. And our downtown has really grown as well as revitalized. We can see businesses come in and create an atmosphere or desire to stay in the city of Ware Cross.
In the city of Ware Cross County, you have an organization, community leaders that are open to doing business, that want your business, that have incentives to make you feel welcome and feel like your business is valued. The Ware Cross County community has one of the strongest logistical systems within the country when it comes down to rail, port, and highway infrastructure. You have people that care about quality of life, economic development, and the safety we need to do business in as well. Those attributes are strong to any employer that's looking to relocate and do business in a place that has all of the infrastructure needs with a strong sense of community service, and safety. I couldn't think of a better place that you would want to do business in other than the Ware Cross County community.
So we started that project in March of last year. I came on board in November of 2022. First few months, of course, like anything, you're trying to figure out where we are and determine where we need to be. Since that was released in January,
from Brunswick. This makes the perfect location for this logistical hub where CSX is expanding their operations with an emphasis on workforce.
The Development Authority says they have more than 300 acres of land for industries that are looking for rail access and connections.
And it's so great to see the rail expand and people who are coming with our community are going to start seeing some of the things that they had to do to come to pass because those persons were resources, were not only physical resources, but there were some natural resources that we utilize, as well as having resources that are going to be necessary.
In a recent promotional video, Rashard Howard, Director of Business Development for CSX, applauded the community for their access to the major points along the manufacturing and shipping routes, in addition to the access to potential workforce and opportunities for growth.
In the city of Ware Cross County, you have an organization, community leaders that are open to doing business, that want your business, that have incentives to make you feel welcome and feel like your business is valued.
In the next few weeks, the Development Authority will be sharing details about the new industries, retail, and commercial opportunities coming to Ware County. Ricky Blake, WAOB, your hometown news source.
and finally, there is one last one regarding workforce.
Many students look forward to moving out of their hometowns and going to get jobs or higher education somewhere else. One side of Georgia town is working to create pathways for those students to learn more about jobs within their own community.
WAOB News 10's Ricky Blake reports the plan to retain local talent is helping with recruiting new industries to the area.
Ware County is truly the place where all things meet. With an extensive railroad system, 3 major highways, that makes it the
So that's just a little bit of what we've been doing. We do have a lot of traction taking place right now with both industrial development opportunities that are coming. Of course, last year y'all heard the large announcement we had from Mars. There are several smaller developments that we're looking at, anywhere between 50 and 100 jobs that are not quite ready for release yet. We've also got some commercial activity taking place where we've already cleared some of the property across from the high school where the Ace Harbor is being built right now. So we've got a lot of activity because of being boots on the ground trying to get things done. I'll entertain any questions that y'all have.
I appreciate what you're doing.
I'd just like to say, Jason, just continue down the path you're going right now. It looks good out there, and like I said, I guess the idea the development authority had to get the land ready, so whenever someone comes in, it's not a matter of, you know, trying to get it cleared off and it's ready to go, and they say shovel ready. So appreciate all the good work you're doing, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Good job. Absolutely. Great job.
Thank you.
We want you to keep pulling for a grocery store out that way. Everybody wants a grocery
We're
store.
pulling hard.
Thank you, Jason. Okay. Any more? Miss Frank?
Yes, sir. Commissioners, good afternoon. Along with Jason, a couple weeks ago, we met with a group of potential investors, and they go around the country building infrastructure, if you will, hangars on airports. As most of you know, that out at the airport, we have a lot of land at the airport as well that's ready to be developed. But the problem with that is it costs a lot of money. It's hard to sell that to you all for millions of dollars to build a hangar that maybe only a couple people will use at the taxpayer's expense. Jason reached out to some folks that he met through his work that are investors, and they are very interested in building hangars out on our airfield. Bottom line up front is it will cost us $0 to make this happen. At the end of it all, we're the ones that will be benefiting along with them. They would rent the hangars out, and we're not talking little hangars for small aircraft. We're talking large. Anybody's here the last couple weeks, you saw the big Gulfstreams flying overhead. These are for your folks that operate corporate style jets or corporate style twin engine aircraft. Those hangars will be available for them. Once those aircraft are based here, the county reaps the rewards of the ad valorem tax on those aircraft that we assess, the buildings themselves for their value, the land lease, any other business that drums up for the area, even as far as the mechanic that's on the airfield is now making more money, he in return is paying more in taxes. So it's really a win with a bunch of wins at the end of it for the county and the city. So, did I cover it all?
Okay.
I covered it well. All right.
Very well.
So my question for you is, if you are willing to venture into this, they require a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, stating that we would lease them approximately 60 to 120,000 square feet of land at a set price. But they would need 6 months to a year to do their initial outreach to see, hey, is it viable for them to come here to invest that kind of money? Are they going to get the responses they need to put aircraft here? If so, then they'll go forward with the building. They do everything. They clear it from start to finish. 30 to 35 years after this is done, I know a lot of us won't be here, but in 35 years, all those buildings revert back to the county, and then the county owns those outright for them to then reinvest and to continue that process on for future generations.
Okay.
So Frank, corporate jets, the big corporate jets don't necessarily have to be in the location of a corporate headquarters. They go to maybe smaller airports, easier to get in, less cost, that kind of thing. And they'll fly from here to Jacksonville and they need it, that kind of thing. That's where it comes from.
Yes, sir. I don't know from experience, but from what I've heard, the beauty of owning your own jet is it's there when you want it. So it doesn't matter where it's at. If you tell them to come get you at 10 o'clock in Savannah, wherever they have to leave from to get you, then they get you.
Right.
The beauty of here is we have basically a lower tax base than a lot of other areas. If you try to keep a plane in Atlanta, you're paying upwards of $14,000 a month for a hangar space. You're not going to pay that here. Fuel prices are almost double in Atlanta area, PDK, Peachtree, DeKalb, those airports, than what we charge here. And we're still charging a very fair price for fuel. and we're still making a good profit. So they have the ability to come here, save money. Rich people are rich also because they spend their money wisely. So if they could park their plane here, have pilots here readily available, then they're gonna do that. And just for a reference, there's 2 pilots in this area that drive to Savannah every day to go pick up the plane that they fly to pick up their passengers in Jacksonville. And so it's really wherever they need it and they can get it at, they're gonna get it. And just a little bit of information too, in the state of Georgia, they did a study last year, there's 1,400 aircraft, 1,400 aircraft in the state of Georgia that have no hangar space. So they're sitting out in the elements, some of those are these high-end planes, and there is a demand for aircraft space. We can't provide it with what it costs to build these hangars.
Yeah, I think Statesboro just is in the middle of a big, expansion on their hangars, just because of that.
Yes, sir.
So in your opinion, Jason's opinion, it's a viable project to look at?
Absolutely, it'd be a viable project. This all stems from when Frank and I first met back in December, January timeframe. Frank drove me around the airport with his vision a little bit. And I said, you know what, I could see this happening. And I just happened to, 2 weeks later, meet one of the developers that we met with a couple of weeks ago. And so it's all just kind of aligning well, and it's a win-win for the county because, again, like Frank was saying, you get the land lease, you get the property taxes. There's really no cost to the county at all, except for allowing them to use some space that they're paying for.
So whatever you do, come up, generate an MOU with these investors and then bring it to Mr. Moy to present to us?
Yes, and I recommended to Frank that we could use a similar MOU that we use with industries. So that way, if they decide not to move forward, you tie it up for no greater than 1 year's time frame before you start seeing activity.
Right.
And you could actually probably charge a small fee while that land is tied up. So there are definitely opportunities from where the development authority has done similar agreements that we can easily share those with the county and figure out how can we make this an easy win for everybody.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I certainly am in favor of it. Since Frank came on board, the airport has blossomed. My opinion, we need to move forward.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yeah.
Frank, and appreciate everything you're doing out there, and I did all what Commissioner Pope has said. It's just been a blessing to have you out there at the airport. And this is one thing we want to try to do in this community, to be proactive and don't wait to react to stuff. And right now the land just sitting out there, we got the land space that's not being utilized for anything, right?
That's correct.
And how much land area you say it would need?
They would only need about, well, everything's said and done, buildings and the ramp in front, about 120,000 square feet.
Which would equate to how many acres out there?
1.5 acres, maybe 2 acres.
That's all? That's for the hangars too?
That's for the hangars and the ramp in front that would be tied into an already existing taxiway.
Okay, I thought it would take more, but that's good. Well, I concur with what Commissioner Pope said, that it's something that looks like it's something that we could use and something that's needed. And we will be fulfilling the need for these corporate jets and interim, in the end, we'll be getting revenue from it.
Yes, sir.
And never really give up the land, it just lease for that long period of time.
Yes, sir, it's just a long-term lease, and then once that lease is up, it's like everything else is negotiable. But after 30 years, more likely these investors have already turned over, they've made their money. And even if they were to sell out those hangars, somebody's still gonna have to reinvest in the land lease. So it's here, it either becomes ours, or we just continue to lease it out.
I know even, I go to Baxley every other month for a board meeting, and even that small airport over there, they're expanding with private hangars out there.
That is correct, and I believe Baxley's was done via one of their timber firms, is the one that helped invest that money to get that to grow, because they had a need for those corporate hangars. That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any more? Anybody else?
No, we like it.
Sound like a good deal there.
Appreciate it.
Get that MOU, we'll let it go. Okay, we got any more speakers? We got? Okay, come on up.
I'd like to thank you gentlemen for having us, giving this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you for your time. My wife and I, Sherry and Clay Begley, we went to the library meeting for the mural and just to see what was going on in the county for that, because we've been serving food out of there through our ministry, trying to help the homeless and help others. So we want to be as proactive in the community and try to help in whatever ways we can to figure out a better way or more people that we can help y'all with. But anyway, at the meeting, we got there and we didn't say Pledge of Allegiance. We didn't say when we said our prayers, it wasn't in Jesus' name, amen, which didn't run through me as per se, but it made me wonder what was going on. And then as the wording of everything, it was an agenda, it was our cause, and I'm going, we're all here to love each other on this earth. God called us to be one, love each other and respect each other. And in the mural, there's no reference to a Christian. And from my understanding, it was requested to be brought down a while back. And I don't know who has the governing authority over that, apparently, because I thought you all appointed them, or maybe I'm misinformed. But anyway, I didn't think that was very fair either, that they would just say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do what we want to do. And then as the conversations went on and Mr. Lucas had asked us to have the floor for a second, he was cut off in about 30 seconds, if he had that long to speak, about a court case regarding bathrooms and transgender stuff, and which I don't care if they put their own bathroom in, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't want a man going into the bathroom with my wife. I know how men are. I know how evil some men are in their hearts through their time. Whatever stage of life they're in at the time, you don't know what a person's heart's going to be, man or woman, what they're capable of. So I just think that's a setup for the children and for our women just to be abused and hurt, and that's something that will last them for the rest of their lives. And I thought that was totally unfair for a community that's supposed to be a safe place to try to push an agenda. And we're all here to love each other. And Mr. Lucas never did get to finish whatever court case he was trying to refer to about a school that had went through the 11th District Court. And I would think that that would set a precedence for any place in our districts.
And I've got one issue to address. Us coming in, we have served 125 meals a day in Brantley County for the widowed, elderly, homeless, homebound. We came over to Ware County this year. We prayed over it. We prayed about it. Open arms the first time we came out to serve in Ware County to reach the individuals in needs. The library called and said, hey, you know what, you can come be here. We had no idea of a policy in place, no idea, and I know terminology, and they pulled up the terminology of sexual harassment. And we serve everyone, so if I go in there and I say, yes, sir, and you identify yourself as someone else, I can be classified as a sexual harasser. That being said, I'm also a counselor. I would not be able to practice. I couldn't teach Vacation Bible School, which we are. And that affects the whole community. That's not even the definition of a sexual harasser. I'm confused because I didn't know that was in the policy. And that is a huge concern for our church as well, and us as the body of believers. I would not be able to go out, and I have caught, just out of manners, yes sir, no sir, I may call you yes ma'am, just out of habit, accidentally call you by the wrong name. That's not sexual harassment. By definition, they're changing Webster's dictionary faster than we can keep up, and my concern is I could be
classified in the category of sexual harassment. That's a heavy charge to me.
And I don't know how that turned out after Joshua Leach had spoke his piece on that, but I will keep it in mind to find out whether it actually got changed or not, as to whether we want to put ourselves in the liability of being sued for sexual harassment for nothing, trying to help people. I've been in service all my life trying to help people. I certainly don't want to be downgraded now just because somebody decided to be offended by something I called them without my intent. I have no ill intent to hurt anybody, ever. But thank you for your time.
Thank
And at some
Thank
point, I
y'all
would
for
like to know
Yeah,
what the
could
court
Mr.
case.
Lucas tell us what the court case was, if it takes like 1 minute?
It wouldn't even take that long, if the chair is okay with it. It's the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals decision, which was Adams v. St. Johns County, Florida. It was decided on the 12th of December, 2022, 2022, and it was actually filed for the 11th Circuit Court on December 30th of 2022. And it was a decision that St. Johns County School System stands on, which is not too far from us. And it's that you use the restroom that corresponds with your sex at birth, unless you went through the change, unless you went through the actual operation. And that's whatever operation entangles. I mean, I don't see how you can change, but that's my opinion. But I shouldn't be hated for my opinion. But with that decision being made, I always revert back to something that we went through as a school system when I was in law enforcement. It's probably been 16 years ago. And it was the whole deal of what we're talking about now is about the restrooms. And we actually, at Ware County High, we put up at the Rotunda when I was actually working with them, and we put 2 restrooms up there that was gender neutral, and that's what we called them, gender neutral restrooms. And if you identified as whatever you wanted to be, that was the restrooms you used. I mean, we kind of saw the writing as law enforcement. We saw the writing on the wall 20 years ago of what was coming. And again, it's whatever. I'm not nobody's judge.
And it was freedom of speech. That was the whole thing by being hindered to speak. We don't even know how to vote properly. And on what agenda? Question to y'all, can y'all let us know if we go out and serve, do we need an attorney to be able to serve people because of a policy that's in place that's not legal? Or can we just go and serve, because we serve everybody, we love everybody. Everybody has been welcomed in until that meeting, and I was like, ooh, I don't want to go in and have any charges.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming, but I'm trying to get some clarity here. When you're saying that, about if you address someone about the sexual harassment, could you, elaborate a little bit more on that? What you're saying is, I want to make sure I'm understanding. In other words, if you serving meals out there.
And I call you yes, ma'am, and you identify as a male, you could sit in the public library, to my understanding, and say that sexual harassment, you could holler that, and that would go against me.
Other words, you're saying you could be sued.
I don't know how far that policy goes.
Because
Yes, sir.
that, and like I say, I hear this stuff, but I'm trying to see if anyone has ever actually experienced this. And like they say, you can sue somebody over a ham sandwich, that don't mean you're gonna win. But this, I guess, I hear this stuff, but I'm still trying to find someone that can say, okay, yeah, this happened to me. I did this right here. I addressed someone as ma'am, and they said, no, I hurt him, or sir.
The policy's just been in place. I don't want to be that person.
Now, which policy is this now?
It's in the Ware County Public Library that if you address.
Personnel policy.
Personnel policy.
That if you what now?
If you address someone by an identity that they do not go by, it is called sexual harassment. And the speaker that went up there, Joshua, was actually speaking on that, saying that's not even the terminology. That was what part of the meeting was over. Our thing is, we're already serving. We're in the middle of something that we had no idea was going on. Our concern is for the church, for the body of Christ. It's in policy right now.
Okay.
I don't know where it's going. If we're safe to go in and serve like we always do, that's all we're asking.
And like I said, I'm not trying to, really be funny about this thing, but still, again, repeat myself, I haven't found anyone that I know of that say, well, you know what, I went in Hobby Lobby and addressed someone as ma'am, and it was a male, and he said I was sexual harassment, and now I got to go to court about it. I don't know, and
It's not in Hobby Lobby, it's at the Ware County Public Library.
well,
They just
I
changed
just use that, but I know the library, so you're saying if you go into the library and you all serving these meals and you say, well, have a good day, ma'am, and he said, no, I'm a sir.
Right, if we do not identify them as that, we are classified as sexual harassers.
And that's in the,
It's in the policy.
Mr. and Ms. Bailey, can I interject something here, please? Mr. Burris, they're actually, when our old librarian was there, the policy actually come about then, and they actually told me I had to sign their, whatever it was, and I refused to sign it, because I'm not put in that position by them. I'm put in that position by the citizens of this county. Whatever their thing was, whatever that policy was that day, and I refused to sign it. I'm not employed by the Ware County School, the Ware County Library. I'm employed by the citizens of Ware County. There's a huge difference there. And what I tried to convey, again, what you said earlier, be proactive instead of reactive. If we're gonna be reactive and be on the receiving end of this thing instead of being proactive to stop before it goes there, we need to be proactive instead of reactive. And I think that's what they're trying to get to the point of, because we can't, as a Ware County commissioner, we can't say, yeah, we're gonna protect y'all legally. I mean, we got us a madam attorney here that comes to us every day from Tifton, and I put my hand and my being in her hands every time I'm up here and every time I'm talking as a Ware County commissioner out in public. And I've actually went to her several times, like we all have, and said, hey, am I right here? And that's why we have her here, to keep us in check.
Make sure that we're in check, because we walked in on something that we were not expecting. And we've been serving for a month up there.
been serving for a month, that's why I like.
Yeah, yes, sir. And we're doing food and clothes, and all the food's been donated in, so we cook the meals.
And I think that's commendable.
There's different drop sites and locations, and nobody has said and I've served the community here, I've been in counseling, but I know as a counselor, I could lose that right if you are accused. So I don't wanna be proactive. If you do something and you serve somebody, you don't want those charges against you, just like.
Well, and this, Mr. Chairman, if I may, on this last thing about the bathroom, just dealing with the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Most places you go into now, I know Walmart has it. When my wife had to go to Jacksonville for surgery, you have a male bathroom, you have a female bathroom, then you have a unisex. Now, if you in question about what sex you are, or even in the waiting room where we were waiting at, they had one restroom there. You go in there, you lock the door, you do what you're gonna do, you come on out. And to me, it's an easy fix, but it looked like we're making a mountain out of a mole here by saying, well, if you got people gonna go in there behind the girl. That could very well be, but to me, that's kind of like, I don't know, I won't say it's being embellishing it, but I can't, and I wish I had someone that could tell me, well, yeah, I saw a man go in the bathroom behind a young girl.
We've had a man in a bathroom. It was in Glenn County.
I mean, he went in there by
He was
mistake.
sitting in the bathroom on the bench, and we did tell the
Okay.
owner, are y'all going by anything? And he was a worker.
Because I tell you what, I have known cases where, I'm speaking from a male vernacular now, getting it tight, and you go there, and if you're not careful, all you see is men, and you mess around, you accidentally sometimes go in there. Now, if somebody see you, I would hate for them to say, oh, they going in there to,
Right.
and that has happened now.
And Betty's 80 years old, and she said, hey, Sherry, there's a man in here, and the man did not move off the bench.
Yeah.
And we did address it with them.
Okay, well, like I say, and I, again, appreciate what y'all doing with the feeding program and the ministry and everything, and I like what you said when you come up to begin with. Jesus Christ instructed us to love one another, and sometimes even regardless of our differences and stuff, we still try to love one another and try to understand one another. But I think we've gotten to the point now where if we don't see it this way, then you're wrong, and that's not what Christ preached.
been forgiving and worked with just about every type of person there is under the sun. I've been in service all my life and on the fire department and various
That's all it is,
things.
sir.
And it,
Love than others.
That's right.
and I've been told the same about myself.
I'm just saying, it's easier to go out on the streets and serve anybody than to go into a public building and be able to be accused. Because y'all don't have that policy here, like I could come in here and serve anybody, and I mean anybody, and they could, because y'all don't have a policy of it. That's my thing. It's easier for us to go to the street, and that was it's about the policy.
What days are y'all over there?
Wednesday and Thursdays.
Huh?
Wednesday and Thursday.
Just all day or certain time?
Wednesday, we come in, we pick up meals, we pick up the food from Glenn County, we come back to Brantley to cook it, we serve it Wednesday here, and then Thursday, we are actually in Ware County about 12 hours serving out. We go to the church and we cook early in the morning, and we set out in different drop locations. We go out to the public library, and Clay and I go out on the streets, so we hit people out on the streets in different drop locations. Salvation Army, Dollar General. We actually see people on the streets, so we're able to get food out to them. And then the church serves out people that are homebound and homeless, and that's for anybody in the
But I think
county.
that's commendable.
That's very commendable.
And so we've got people that are calling all over also that are pouring in. Like this past year, there was over $410,000 worth of items donated, food, clothing, and everything else that was generated through Brantley County. And hopefully this year that'll be that much money, nothing taxed or anything else anybody sees. And a lot of that comes from Glenn County that are helping the different counties.
Okay.
So,
We truly
We
appreciate it.
thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all.
Your time's out, I know.
If I got one more point, there was an advocate letter that was pushed to send to you all about taking the taxes, removing taxes from them, and it was orchestrated to, the wording on it, obviously I didn't read it because I wasn't privy to that, but I'm sitting there going, I don't even have a clue. I could write a letter up to send you as an advocate saying, please don't take my taxes, so I have to close the library. And it was all orchestrated, and you could tell by the wording of the chair that it got written by her for that specific case or purpose. I'm going, I don't know. I like things to be pre-planned, but some things should not be pre-planned like that.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
truly appreciate what y'all do.
thank you all.
Thank y'all
for doing what you
Thank
do.
y'all.
Keep
Thank
calling
y'all.
a man, yes, sir,
right.
and a lady, yes, ma'am.
Anybody else on that? Josh? Give you 5 minutes.
I won't take very long. There was some confusion about the policy. I have the policy word for word. I sent it to you all already. I met with you all about over a year ago and read the quote from the policy manual here to you all then. So I don't know why there's confusion. I know that nobody has been charged with sexual harassment because of the policy, but thank you. But the principle of it, they have a policy. Even if they never charge anybody with sexual harassment, they have a policy saying you have committed sexual harassment if you call a man he when that man tells you to call him she. And that is unacceptable. And I brought this to you before, so I don't know why we're confused about that. That is unacceptable. Can we all agree that if there is a policy saying you've committed sexual harassment for calling a man he when that man wants you to call him a she, that is unacceptable? Here's the policy, word for word. It says sexual harassment includes refusal to respect an individual's gender identity. And if you're confused about what refusal to respect gender identity means, they went on to tell you in an example. They said, an employee has the right to be addressed by the name and pronoun that corresponds to the employee's gender identity. Refusal to respect, that same wording, refusal to respect an employee's gender identity, for example, intentionally referring to the employee by a name or pronoun that does not correspond to the employee's gender identity, is considered harassment. They were not ambiguous about what they were talking about. If you call that person by their old male name or by the pronoun he, then according to the library's official personnel policy, you've committed sexual harassment. It's been that way for over a year. I came to you about it. I came to them about it. They made some changes, but they still have that policy in their personnel policy manual.
Y'all asked a while ago what the thing was that I was asked to sign and I refused to sign. Well, that's part of it right there. And that's the reason I refused to sign it. And I'm not going to sign it. Because I'm not put in that position by library, the regional board. I'm put in that position by the citizens of this county. I represent them first and foremost, and will always. Because I'm an elected official. I'm not an appointed official, and I take that seriously, bottom line. And I'm not going to sign somebody's policy that they want me to sign, and I don't answer to them. I answer to the citizens. And then I answer to the state, and I answer to the feds. That's the way it works with me. That's just where I come from, a law enforcement background. I'm not going to change that. That Timmy Lucas won't change. That's who I am. And I can't change it.
If you want to see it in the official library personnel manual, we can give that to you if you're needing more questions about it. I just wanted to make that clarification because it's real simple to quote the policy.
So if this stuff is not gone we got 2 more months before we vote on it?
Till May, no, we already voted on it.
No, I mean to defund it.
The end of
We're
May.
not gonna fund it anymore if we don't get this stuff straightened out.
They say the end of May and a wake up.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, and I'm just wanting to be very clear. When we say get this stuff straight, whatever, have we given them something, I'm talking about in writing, saying, okay, these are the things that need to be changed or handled or whatever? Because
the board has already got us.
The regional board.
The board's got us one.
And we gave them, like Pierce County did, we gave them, because I voted 2 weeks ago to defund them then. And I worked with this board, this commission, and we decided to give them to the end of May, the last day of May. Pierce County's already took money from them. Other counties already took money from them.
So
We haven't took anything.
So again, what are the things that we want them to do in order to keep the funding? That's all I'm trying to find out.
To do what the regional board policy says.
What did the regional board policy say?
We got the regional board chair here. I believe she can get up here and attest to that.
Okay. I wasn't prepared, so,
I'm
I
sorry.
can just tell you, I've got the personnel policy here because I carry everything with me just in case. There's some things that need to be changed, and this is so weird, the timing of this, because I just spoke with the director today, just a little while ago, because I said, we've got to keep this place funded. We've got to do whatever it takes to keep this place funded. Said there's some language in this personnel policy that needs to go. So I've let her know I want that put on the agenda for us to vote on, to review, first of all, to review this policy with the whole board and revise it and vote on it. So that's it in the workings. Like, this is crazy timing because I met with her at 1 o'clock today and I asked her to put it on the agenda because I do want us to stay funded, if at all possible. And we have worked on some things, like I told you before. You wanted some of the language changed to represent the state and flags, the American flag and the Georgia state flag. You wanted that in the Constitution and bylaws. That has been done. So we revised the Constitution, the bylaws. We redid the financial policies, and we did the displays and exhibits policy. So we've got a lot of things done this past year. And then on top of that, we have an excellent director. We hired her. She came on board in December. She's wonderful. She believes in access for everybody. She's for equality. She's great. I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose the library. So please, just know we're working on it.
So what other things, Ms. Denton? And I know you mentioned about the financial stuff, but I'm talking about as far as for this commission, so that we won't cut off the purse string.
Okay, so I was told to make sure that these flags are represented in our library, that we're not going to have.
You say we, y'all, who are you talking about?
Well, I've had patrons, I've had commissioners, I've had citizens from 5 different counties call me text me, email me, to let me know, hey, this is not right. There's LGBTQ flags up there. They were up there. And now I didn't come on board until last year. So I started working on policies to fix some of these issues. So I'm telling you what citizens and patrons have said. In addition to some of you guys, like I know Timmy said several things. He's let me know what needs to happen because he hears from patrons and citizens every day. And he's like, we've got to correct some of these issues. They've gotten out of hand.
So to answer Commissioner Burse's question, will you at some point give us a list of what you're changing to keep the money? Because every time this comes up, we never get a straight answer,
See, I've come up here and I've given you an update, so I don't understand what you don't understand. I don't understand
what you've got to change. Can you tell us what you've got to change?
Well, I've told you 4 or 5 things that we've already changed.
No, you haven't said one thing. You said we want 1, 2, 3, 4 on the list.
Look, I'm on the board. I'm making the changes for commissioners, patrons, citizens. I don't know what you don't understand, Mr. Pope.
I don't understand what you're going to change.
Well, he just talked about some
You just
gender
said
identity.
personnel policy needs changing.
It's a
What are
big
you gonna
document.
change?
It's a big document, so I've got to review it first. We'll have to review and revise and then vote. So I can't tell you right off everywhere that it might need to be changed.
So you're not ready to tell us yet?
Well, the biggest thing, Mr.
Just told you.
Bless your
Commissioner
heart.
You wasn't listening.
The biggest thing to keep from being defunded right now is the number one thing, in my opinion, is to follow the regional board's policy.
Right.
The regional board.
Go away with that.
And they have, and we got the local chair here today, and I'm sure she'd love to get up and speak for a minute or two. But she's the one who said it was, at the last meeting 2 weeks ago, who brought it up and said it was left up to her, being the local chair, to interpret what the regional board has said. That's not left open to her interpretation. That's in black and white.
Can you give us some in writing that's the regional board's opinion of what they want changed? Can you tell us that?
Well, I mean, this is the regional chair, and she's the one in charge of the region. She's the chair of the region.
That's what she's telling you.
We started with the flags because they were not represented.
Can we get an email that goes out to everybody so that everybody hears the same thing, I think is what we're asking. Like if
Well, emails went out, what, 18 months, 16 months ago, 14 months ago?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying
And I
now.
come to
I mean,
y'all,
like, I can't do all these changes. Like, I'm not a tyrant. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
this would have
I
to
think that's
be
what y'all were all.
commissioners,
saying,
patrons,
same thing,
citizens'
just to
input.
clarify.
this is 5 counties trying to work together. One county has, well, 2 counties
I
actually
mean,
have
you
already.
guys, just y'all, not everybody, and just
Well-
say, this is what we're looking at, so that everybody knows.
Well, they addressed the flags. That was one of the biggest things. They addressed the flags, and now that is dealt with in policy. But, and I have talked about it up here several times myself, of what, I go back to experience. I'm dealing with experience here. 16 years ago in Ware County school system, go back to the whole bathroom deal. We saw the writing on the wall then, so we put the unisex up at the rotunda, up there in the front of Ware County High School. Every other bathroom is boy and girl. And we ain't even bringing men and women into it yet, and I've got a kid that goes out there and he ain't no man yet. He's a boy, you know what I'm saying? He's a boy, he's a girl, he's not a man. So it says boy, girl, that's what it says. In every school, Miss Carla Parker, I hate to call you out, but she's a retired school teacher, and it says boy, girl. I don't see the confusion now. I just don't. I don't see, we've even brought up, and I brought it to her attention, I brought it to Miss Tawana's attention, I brought it to Miss Martha's attention. Let's change the bathroom right there to the left where you walk into the office or the meeting room like we got here, put it to unisex. Well, I got hit with all kind of, I don't know what to call it. I'm getting really confused now myself, but it's, I brought that up to bring that up. But I can't still revert back to the policy that I was told, you're gonna sign this or not be on our local board. I'm not signing nothing put out by a local board or even a regional board, because I don't answer to them. I answer to this county and the citizens.
Let me ask you one thing, Kenny. In 90 days or 60, whatever it is now, after the last meeting, we said 90 days, what will we vote on so that the 3 of y'all will not defund the library? What will we be voting on for the change?
Policies that she brought up.
Once again, I say the regional board's policy.
So at that meeting, you will have us an agenda item that we can read and see what Changes are,
and she comes back and tells us that they've been changed,
what has been
Then-
changed?
just,
The very things that.
you didn't hear all of it, you need to listen, Jerry, or either get you a book and go to reading. Damn,
Or is the personnel policy?
Swanee,
It's just,
What's in the
read
personnel
that policy that they got over there.
Commissioner Pope, it
What
gets
you
real
need to do.
confusing. It really does. It gets real confusing at times, especially when you're dealing with 4 other counties besides your own.
Right, I
And then you,
understand.
you get asked to sign a policy or get basically told, like Miss Martha told me, you're gonna sign this or you're gonna leave. And then I was escorted out, basically. I left on my own free will, I'll put it that way. I wasn't escorted out because the police officer was there and knew he did not have jurisdiction over me. It's in a county building. He's inside the building. He don't have jurisdiction, period. They didn't know
Excuse
that.
me,
They know
sir.
it now.
Code of ethics is
Code
what you're
of
looking
ethics.
for.
Code of ethics. And either we got to decide as a county what our code of ethics are, because when it's all said and done, and I keep bringing this to y'all's attention up here, it's called vicarious liability. At the end of the day, we're gonna be held responsible for anything that goes on in our building. Last time I checked, we pay the insurance on that building,
Right.
okay?
We
That's a
pay it
county
all.
building.
The county does.
We answer
Okay.
to it. So if a lawsuit comes, it's gonna have Ware County Commission, it's gonna have every one of us labeled individually. That's what you're facing.
Evelyn, when you bring that back to us before the meeting, let us know,
Yes, sir. Our meeting is May the 6th.
May the 6th, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Will.
again, all I wanna know is, what are the things, and I'm not saying not, but I'm saying whenever you come back, we need something to say, okay,
Have you
the
seen the
flag.
policy today? No.
The
Have
regional-
you saw
the
today's
regional
policy,
policy.
what the policy reads now? You
I have
saw
a
that.
copy. You're
We
talking
had it
about
on the
the
meeting
displays and
before. We
exhibits?
had it in our
Yeah,
agenda.
well, I'm saying the thing to keep this thing, so we won't be torn with this idea about defunding, what are the things that they need to do at the library to satisfy the commission? That's all I'm saying.
Commissioner Burris, the only thing they gotta do is follow the regional library's policy. That's all they gotta do.
What does the legal,
What
okay,
they say.
you know what,
Better take that out.
but, and.
Yeah, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
The minutes, what we got.
I mean, we got several meetings. We can go back and discuss it, and it's a minute point now.
On March 25th, Commissioner Lucas had amended the motion that he was willing to give the library 90 days to correct the situation with the mural in the bathroom. And that was the 2 issues that were being discussed
And the
tonight.
policies.
Mr. Chairman, local board chair had her hand up to come up to speak. Ms. Harris, she had her hand up to speak. I don't know if
Okay.
or not.
Can you do on that policy, can you redline the things that we asked to
Okay.
change?
On the displays and exhibits policy?
Yeah, on
Okay.
those policies.
Okay.
And,
'Cause there's multiple
is that what you wanna do?
policies.
Yeah.
You wanna redline those, and then
Just
they
whatever.
wanna redline the ones you want took out of
Okay,
that
now,
policy.
here's the thing that I'm trying to make clear. It's not what I want.
I want what the,
Okay, so
what the
I'm
people
trying to
want.
figure out what all I can do to help y'all be satisfied.
That's right.
And the, patrons and citizens. So when I get 30 emails and, everybody's up in arms about, our current policy, I'm like, oh, well, we might need to change it. And then maybe we can suit everybody and there can be peace. So that's my goal,
That's a dream
Yeah, I
world.
appreciate that.
You redline,
World.
yes.
would you do us a copy of, and redline and get it to, Melinda where we can get a copy of it?
The 4 policies, or 4 documents, Constitution bylaws, the displays policy, financial policies. Do you want me to redline everything, like the things that were changed in those?
Just things
'Cause
that we
it's-
want.
I mean, it's a lot of different policies that's
Right.
involved. Okay, there are a lot of.
Yeah, because they, you know what we talked about, that everybody wants done away with.
Yes, sir. Okay. I think so.
And,
Okay, I'll get it back to you.
And that's all we need, and then we'll get us a copy of it, and y'all read it, we'll go from there. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Warner, you wanted to talk?
Thank you so much, Commissioner Thrift, and to all the commissioners who have served
Thank
Ware
you.
County. Thank you for the opportunity to provide some clarity for what's going on. And as it relates to, first, the personnel policy, it is just that, a personnel policy and not a patron policy. And so that idea is to provide provision that we cover in other areas so that if there is a hostile employee-to-employee action, that it can be handled properly. That's the purpose of that particular policy. The second thing I would like to provide clarity for is that the statement that the board members are asked to sign is an ethics statement and not a policy. It just simply says in multiple ways that as a board member of the library, that you will do everything you can to be an advocate for the library, point blank. When it comes to the mural that everybody is dancing around, I want you to understand there are multiple points of liability. An attorney came to the regional board and spoke to us to let us know that because it is on record that some people want the mural down because of its LGBTQ community reference, that we can open ourselves up for liability as it relates to discrimination. So we are, as a board, trying to make sure, correct, that we are all safe and to find ways. So we are compromising because community members that we're hearing from aren't one-sided. I want to make that clear, that there are just as many community members who are coming to our library board meetings, who are sending emails, and who are asking for support and help. So we have community members that are on both sides. And so we are trying to navigate and negotiate for all of those persons that we serve. And I say we serve because whether I agree or disagree with a board member, we are serving on the board together. So one of the issues that I find is even in this room, the language of separatism, they. You know, if we could come together as a we on the board, I think we'll be all right. You know, there are plenty of good things. We have addressed the bathrooms, which you said, Commissioner Thrift. It's a matter of the renovations and the constructions, and the previous director talked to somebody from the codes department to ensure how many toilets we have to have for the occupancy level that we have. So there are a lot of things that are involved here that are being intertwined and creating a miscommunication, if you will. Our library serves this community well. Is there a dispute? Yeah. There's a dispute, but it does not outweigh the benefit, the services that we offer through that library. There are so many great things, so many more that never get talked about in this particular arena. I also want to provide clarity on Mr. Josh's Leach statement to the board. He just simply wanted to come to the board to let us know that he was going to make the referral or the request to update the policy to the regional board. He did not come to the local board asking us to take any action. So I just want to make sure that was clear because it was kind of stated like he asked us to take an action and we refused. And lastly, I would like to say that in terms of interpretation, they asked me for my personal view. Another board member, how did I come up to that conclusion? And that was my interpretation. I did not make an interpretation for the entire board. All members have voted according to their understanding and their conscience. And I do believe that every member of the board at the library takes their role very seriously, understands their implication, and is doing their best to serve this community. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Y'all got any questions?
I don't, no, sir.
So,
Mr. Burke?
one thing with the grant that the library is getting,
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of stuff can be addressed for us from the structural standpoint, the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. To where we can
Remodel
add-
building.
Right, and, so I think a lot of that can be addressed then, and again, like I say, I just wanna know what it is that the library board needs to do in order for us to continue to fund it. That's all I wanna know.
Yeah.
Make it plain and simple for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If these things are addressed, and if we get those addressed, then we shouldn't have any problem.
Mr. Thrift, may I just add, at the library board meeting, there were reports given by the director as well as the branch manager for stellar numbers, the increase in participation that we have at the library. As a matter of fact, for the month of March, we had over 4,000 patrons served. So I just want you to consider that when you're considering that people aren't feeling welcome or they don't want to come to the library, and to ensure that when we talk about the community, that we are talking about the community at large.
We're probably gonna keep the library open. We don't, but we just want some policies changed. We're not for getting rid of the library.
Right.
Y'all get us wrong sometimes.
I
We're not for that.
I appreciate you. I just want to make sure you understand the policy he's referring to is a personnel policy to allow for the director to take action if an employee is harassing another employee. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead.
What the whole deal is on the symbols, the exhibits, flags, that's the real main deal. We have to get our symbols and our flags and all that in order. You take symbols down that can't be there per the regional boards, vote on it, and I think everything will be fine.
Yeah.
The library will go right on clicking like it does, but the symbols and stuff like that's got to be addressed. And I think that's the main thing, so personnel policy changes and symbols that are up need to go, and let's go on about our business.
If y'all answer my phone the last 2 or 3 weeks about the library, you'd get rid of all that, because I ain't never seen so much harassment. I just have to listen to it. They say you were to change all that stuff. I told them I don't know how, but now we're gonna do something. Because when Evelyn comes up with that list and redline it, then I wanna see that we can change some of it. Because I've had a lot of input about this stuff. Everybody gets a lot of calls.
Yep.
We getting a lot of calls on this stuff. That's why it's like it is. I mean, really. We just doing it for us. These 5 up here, we doing it for the taxpayers.
I understand, and me too, sir. Like
And the
I said,
majority.
you know,
Yeah.
we have voices coming from every direction, and every voice is important.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Any more? Is that all the figures?
Well, I don't wanna turn this into
Go ahead.
a debate, if Madam Attorney, but I would just like Josh to stay seated right where he is and ask him one simple question.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Hold on.
And I'm sorry to
Hold on.
interrupt you, Commissioner, but I think that would be inappropriate for this scenario
Okay.
because we had public speaking time and now we really need to move on to the agenda
Yeah,
items.
you-
Now, I understand respectfully, sir, of course.
I got you.
Okay, you satisfied?
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on. Okay, on agenda item, group health insurance policy renewal. Mr. John Leggett.
Hey, good evening. Excuse me, I've got some presentations. That's okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, yes, John Leggett with MSI Benefits Group, here to go over the county's group health renewal. Got about 10 slides I'll go through fairly quickly. It's a good renewal, should be an easy decision, so we'll get into it. Slide 2 is just a real quick recap of last year, just to refresh your memory. And I was looking back, in 2020, the county moved from Anthem fully insured to Anthem self-funded. That was a good move. Worked out a few years, and then, of course, last year we changed from Anthem to Meritain because of some of the things we could do with the stop loss, because we're self-insured now, and the pharmacy piece. And so last year we actually saw a decrease of 7% with the change. So the anticipated renewal for the current year, 23-24, was actually a decrease of 7 million. 7%, 7 million would be great. 7%, $245,000 decrease, and the budget was about 3.3 million. So that was for this current plan year. We changed the dental from Anthem to Guardian and the vision. Saw a little bit of an increase on both of those. The life and disability we renewed with One America, and that is a quick recap of the last year. If you go to slide 3, a lot of numbers on here. I want to focus on the bottom right. The bottom right loss ratio, you'll see 65%. If that were 100%, we'd be running as expected. But we're not. We're running way better than expected. So if you'll notice the blue, the annualized total, if you look at how the claims are running for our pharmacy and medical, if you annualize it out through June of this year, we're going to see it would be just over 2.5 million. So our budgeted number was about $532,000 lower. I'm sorry, it's $532,000 lower than the actual total with Anthem, and $585,000 lower than what was budgeted. So the plan's running very well. In the 22-23 plan year, we saw claims just over 3 million. So we've had a really good year, and we hope that continues. And obviously a lot of that is what we were able to do with the stop loss and mostly the pharmacy piece. We've seen some savings on the pharmacy, and I'll show you that on the next slide. So on slide 4, you'll see that in the blue represents the prior year when we were with Anthem, and Anthem uses IngenioRx as their pharmacy benefit manager. Blue represents the claims per month. So we saw 1,151,000 for the entire year in paid claims. If we annualize it out, we're going to be about 920,000 for this current year. So it's about $235,000 below where we were with Anthem. So that's where we're seeing some of the savings. So we hope that continues, but the drug plan is working. And remember, all those specialty drugs, the high-cost drugs, folks that are on those are getting those at no cost, and they're off of the county's plan as well. The next slide will show you how that's working. So specialty pharmacy services, this is a list of some of the drugs that are going through the personal importation and taking advantage of the manufacturer's assistance program. So in total, if we didn't have this program, the county would have spent right at $388,000 in pharmacy cost. The county has spent $129,000. A lot of these drugs are no longer being paid under the plan. The member's getting them directly from the manufacturer. There's no cost to the county or the member, so you'll see zeros. And these numbers under specialty, where you see down below where it says $16,419, that number probably won't change because all those folks have been enrolled in the program and are receiving again, at no cost and no cost to the county. So the county under this program has seen about a $258,000 savings on these medications. So that's how the program's working. On the next slide, this is a highlight of the 2 plan offerings, deductibles, co-pays, everything. Last year, we only tweaked the co-pays for for tier 1 medications and mail order. That's highlighted in yellow. You may recall, due to the decrease in the costs, the employee deductions went down slightly. We're not making any recommendations to change the plans. We want to keep the plans the same and the employee deductions the same. So no recommended changes to the plans that are offered to Ware County employees. On slide 7, this is our renewal. So one of the benefits of, I don't want to say not being with Anthem anymore, but one of the benefits of being with an independent third-party administrator, which is Maritime, is that if we're happy with them, and I think we have been, and we're happy with our network, which is Aetna, and we're happy with our pharmacy, which has been working very well, then the only thing we're looking at on an annual basis is stop loss. And while there's only about 4 different fully insured carriers that we can look at when you're fully insured, and that's Anthem, Aetna, United, and Cigna, when you're self-funded and with an independent TPA like we are, there's about 20 different stop loss carriers. So if you look at option 1, the renewal, where we would be looking at a 33% increase on the stop loss premium. But we went to market, and Swiss Re, while they're at 33% increase, we went to about 20 different carriers, and the most competitive one that came back is Companion Life, and that's actually right at a 4% decrease. So instead of a 33% increase, which is about $283,000 in premium, we're looking at about a $33,000 reduction in premium. And so option 2 is changing only the stop loss. This has no impact on employees. This is a behind-the-scenes benefit. And just to remind you, we're self-insured. All the claims on every single member are paid up to $100,000. Once it hits that $100,000 number, the stop loss kicks in and covers anything above that. So option 2 would be changing that, and we would actually see a decrease in our fixed cost. This is the premium. Now, when you look below, we part of the contract is what, obviously the big part of it are your claims, right? So under this current plan year, I got with Ms. Beverly, and we reviewed all this with the team in March. Claims, as I said, are running very well below expected. I think she said through March, and of course we go through June, we're on pace to be about 1.1 below the current budget. And so the reason I tell you that is when you look below and you see expected annual medical RX and claims, you'll see an increase over under option 2 of about 9%, 9.10%. They're basically saying that they expect the claims to go up 9%. Well, under this current year, we're running $1 million below expected. So the claims are the claims. They're going to run how, things are going to happen. Hopefully they continue to run as well as they have been. But what the big piece of your, for budgeting, obviously, is the fixed cost. And so that top portion, we like the 4% decrease, and our claims will hopefully continue to run well. So if you look at the overall bottom line, option 2, when you factor in what they're saying the claim liability is going to be, it's about an 8.5% increase. But keep in mind, your claims are your claims. They've ran well. They're $1 million under budget, and we hope that continues on. We want to keep our fixed costs as low as possible, so that's why we're going to recommend option 2, which I'll show you here in a minute. Any questions on any of this?
Medication, the specialty pharmacies, I guess medications.
Yes, sir.
Say like the Eliquis. Is that a medication that, as far as an employee, would they have to pay? How much cost would they have to pay on that? Just
On all these drugs, employees pay nothing.
okay, nothing on these drugs.
Correct.
Okay.
If you sign up for that program.
Right, if you enroll in the program, which under the specialty, someone reaches out to you, actually under both of them. If you're taking a medication that's qualified under this program, they will reach out to you and they will tell you, hey, you need to sign up for their personal importation, or they'll reach out to you and say, we need some information to get you enrolled in the manufacturer's assistance. And when they do that, and they will tell them, hey, look, we need this information because, again, you're going to get it for free, and the county's no longer going to be paying the costs on that drug. So that's how the program works.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, Eliquis is a good example. It's $2,200 a month, and we're getting it through Veracity, we're getting it at just over $1,000 a month. So under Anthem, that wasn't the case. That we would have been paying that full cost into the Anthem program.
I guess we could just call this pharmacy number they have on the back.
Actually, you go online. You go online and to the Veracity website, and you enroll in the program.
Okay, for the specialty.
It's pretty easy. That'll take just a minute.
Okay.
So you're recommending option 2?
I am. I like lower premiums, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yes, option 2, there's 2 parts to your plan. You got your fixed premium. Again, I'll drive that home. Fixed premium, what you pay. Nobody has a claim. We're spending, if we stay under option 1, we're gonna spend just over $1.1 million just in premium, right, for everything. And if we go with option 2, our premium is $825,000 compared to current year's $858,000. So it's a decrease. And our claims are our claims. They project they're gonna trend them up 9%, while they're running about 25%, or gosh, maybe even better than that, below what they anticipated this year. And we're looking to see about a $1.1 million difference in the budget. And the reason you're self-funded is when you have these good years, Ware County benefits from it. If you were paying premium, you wouldn't get that premium back. So that's the whole benefit of being self-funded. And then you put these programs in, like the pharmacy program, where you can actually do something about it and save, implement programs that actually save us money. So yeah, the premium difference is about $317,000 between the renewal and option 2. All right, and then real quick on page 8, this is our tentative timeline. We're going to be having open enrollment. It's going to take place May 20 through the 22nd. We, as you probably recall, we do the employee benefit guides in the packets. We want to get those to everybody the week or so before. So we'll need a decision to move forward. None of the other benefits are changing. The dental, vision, life, disability, everything's remaining the same, no change in benefit or cost. So really the only thing on the table is the health. And so on page 9, the recommendation is to renew the health plan with Meritain and Veracity and change stop-loss carriers to Companion Life with no change to the plan design or employee costs.
Year, or was this renewal is a 2-year rate guarantee? Is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that
skip.
for?
So that is
that?
with Meritain, there's a fee that we pay to Meritain. They're giving us a 2-year rate. So 2-year guarantee. So it will not change for 2 years. That's only on Meritain, not the stop-loss.
Okay.
Yeah. You're reading my side notes there that I skipped over. So that is the recommendation. And,
Okay. I have a motion.
So on this base, on page chart 6, slide 6 rather, the base and the buyout is more like I know it costs more, but then you paying a little less on certain things, like on your deductibles and.
Lower out-of-pocket is the big reason why. $4,000 out-of-pocket versus $7,900. For somebody that may, have some type of procedure coming up, they say, you know what, I'd rather pay a little bit out of my paycheck and know that my cap is $4,000 versus the base plan where I might have to spend $7,900. That's the biggie. And yes, there is a difference in doctor copays, a little bit lower on the buyout plan, and the deductible on the prescription drugs.
Okay. Anybody else on it?
So when it says the out-of-pocket, the individual,
Don't let us go wrong now.
on the 79 or the 15.8 right there, on the base plan, what's the difference in that?
So the out-of-pocket includes everything, right?
Is that an individual or family?
So it's capped at $7,900 per individual, and if you have family coverage, it's capped at $15,800.
Okay.
So if there are 5 people in your family, 2 individuals meet that maximum amount, it's capped for the entire family, and that's a per calendar year deal. So it starts over in January.
That buyout's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
One other thing, on what it said, the wellness and non-wellness, could you expound on that just a little bit?
So the county has a wellness program that folks need to participate in, and if they do not participate in the program, then they see higher deductions. Everybody technically right now, I believe, is enrolled in wellness.
Start out enrolled in the wellness.
You start enrolled in the wellness, and then you have to participate. There's biometric screenings and health risk assessment, things like that you have to do in order to continue to get the lower deduction.
Okay, I think that's something y'all sent out a while back, didn't you? Got to do it by what, the end of this month?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on it? Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the 2024 medical plan renewal as presented.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion and a second.
Under discussion, that's with option 2
That's
as
what option
presented.
2.
Option 2.
Go ahead.
The options is for the employees to decide.
Right.
No. So under the renewal options, you want to select option 2, which is the
Right.
recommended
You want-
option. Stop loss carrier.
You want that on there?
Option 2.
Put that on your motion.
Add that to my motion. We select option, or I prefer option 2.
And I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All right. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Hendrick? Aye. And the chair votes aye. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. Okay. Purchase request for scanner and printer for planning and code.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a request to purchase
a Hewlett Packard scanner and printer for planning codes. The one they have now is about 12 years old. It's been needing to be replaced, but this is one they primarily use to do prints of big print of maps and such, and also scan documents to make duplicates. Not only duplicates, but also to put them in a digital form so they can store them. Yeah, the total price of that quote, which is off of a state contract, is $17,775.23.
Okay.
There's a picture of it in there if you're kind of curious. It's a good sized piece of machinery.
Yeah, it weighs 500 and something pounds.
Yeah.
How big of a plan will that cover? What size does it?
Dustin, is it can y'all do is it a 24 or
24 by
36?
24.
I think it's 36 wide.
36 by 24?
This one is for a 44 inch.
Yeah, 44. 44 inch.
So 44 inch wide roll, but we can make them longer. It's just
Okay.
the width of it is what that is. We can also put smaller size rolls on it if need be.
It'll also do reduced plans too, like a small.
Yes, sir.
drawing.
So we would be able to scan like plats or building footprints or whatever someone brings in. Scan those in, put them on the server, make copies of them, print out copies, that kind of stuff in-house. Right now, we're having issues with the scanner. Essentially, you start the thing up, you sit 30 minutes waiting on the thing to finally warm up. Won't connect to the servers. You have to pop in a thumb drive just to move stuff back and forth, and it just slows down the process. And it's basically a situation where it's just not really working for us. So we're trying to make sure we're up to date on technology and able to get stuff done quickly for requests that come in day to day.
Okay. Is there any kind of warranty on that thing?
Nah, that's what I was about to ask.
What kind of warranty? Has anybody looked that up?
Should be under the specs, I would imagine.
Says there is manufacturer's standard commercial warranty.
$1 year post warranty, next business.
1 year.
Or 2 year post warranty. You got to choose which one you want. You got to choose.
So it'd be a 1 year warranty.
It goes up a little bit. How many years you want to cover it?
And it also says right here, a 1 year limited hardware warranty.
1 year. A lot of money for 1 year.
I mean, hardware, it'd be like if, say, lightning strikes and messes up something on the actual hardware, the board or whatever for it, they could come in that year and swap it out, fix it for us.
Do they have anything about an extended warranty, you know, like?
They do.
That's what I was gonna ask. I'm glad you
You
said
have
that.
to, Commissioner Bursch, you have to pay a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying to
But
get an extended warranty on it.
is it optional?
It is optional. Extended warranty is optional.
Okay.
So far on the actual scanner we've got, the only thing we've actually had to replace on it so far is just the bulbs on it. Big light bulbs for the scanner part.
Okay.
I just got one question. Can we do, I know like where my residence, where I live, I pay like an extra little charge to Georgia Power. In the county, can we do that? Can we opt to get that service?
Oh, what?
I pay a little extra to Georgia Power if lightning strikes or something like that. Georgia Power covers it on top of what my warranty don't cover or my insurance don't cover.
I didn't know that.
Y'all familiar with that?
No,
Am I the only
I don't
one?
know.
Pay that.
I never heard of it, I don't reckon.
I pay it every month.
Oh, you do?
Pay it every month.
Through Georgia Power?
No, you pay Georgia Power fee if lightning strikes your residence or your business.
Oh,
And then
Yeah, it's mentioned in here, you can extend it, have a extended warranty 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, they say just contact them. Yeah, they'll offer it.
oh, okay.
Scott, is this in that department budget?
I would suggest, it's not, I'd suggest we take it out of ARPA for that reason, yes,
Can
sir.
we, yeah, I was gonna ask, can we pay it with the ARPA money?
Yeah, they've been needing a new one for about 2 years now, I remember Jimbo telling me.
Based on my dealings with the planning department with plans, it's well needed, because they got 2 or 3 machines that don't even work anymore.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Y'all want to put that extended warranty on it?
Is
Mr.
that
Chair.
something you have to get now, or can you get it when it gets to the end of?
You'd probably have to purchase
Get
it
it
up
in
front.
the
Added later.
Purchase
Yeah.
it, find out what it is. Okay. All right.
Chairman, I move we approve the request for a scanner printer for the planning and codes to be purchased with a extended warranty under the advice of the manager and as presented.
Okay. Got a motion, got a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion?
Only discussion I would add, Mr. Chair, if feasible, again, Mr. Scott, I would do the 5-year warranty. It's one I prefer, 5-year warranty.
Okay.
I guess, I
All
don't
right.
know what that costs, I guess we need to go out and find out what that costs.
Whatever we
for
need to
each.
talk to them about,
Yeah, they can find out.
yeah. Okay, check on that, warranty.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Henry?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All right. Proposed revision to Ware County Employee Personnel Policy Paid Leave.
Teresa, do you want to take a stab at it?
Teresa, tell us about it.
If not, then I could.
So, we have some revisions that we want to make to the paid leave policy. I'll say the biggest, because as you can see, there's a bunch of little highlighted areas. Some of them is just kind of, we're making things make a little bit more sense. But the biggest change is going to be putting a cap on the amount of hours employees can accumulate each year and carry over into the next year. So as it stands now, an employee can accumulate hours all year long, and it rolls over into the next year, and 20 years from now, all the time that they've been accumulating, if they haven't used it, it just builds up. And so we thought it made more sense to put a cap on that, because when it comes time for an employee, if they can't use all the time in a year or 5 years, when it comes time for them to separate, we have to pay them out for all this time that we've allowed them to accumulate. So now we want to put a cap on what they can carry over from year to year. So during the year, they'll be able to accumulate at whatever rate they accumulate time at, because everybody kind of accumulates at different rates depending on their years of service and depending on the hours that they work. So we want to cap it at 480 hours, which we came up with that number because if an employee is out sick and they qualify for FMLA, by law, we have to give them 12 weeks of job-protected leave. So that would, an employee that doesn't have short-term disability or other means to be paid while they're out, they'd be able to burn PTO while they're out on this 12 weeks that we have to allow them to be out for a covered reason. So 480 hours equals 12 weeks. So that's where we got the number from. And we just thought that made sense.
Okay.
So meaning during the year, each year you'll be able to accumulate your time. January 1st of the next year, any time that you have over that 480, you'll lose. So if you don't use it in that previous year that you're accumulating it, you'll lose it as of January 1st. The other change that we made that that I want to note is on the PTO buyback. So every year we have the buyback policy where an employee who, if you've been here at least 3 years of employment, if you have at least 200 hours of PTO time, you can sell back. Well, right now it's 150 hours. We're changing it to 200. You can sell back right now up to 40 hours of PTO time. We do that once a year. It comes out in November, and we'll cut you a check for 40 hours so that you can kind of use chunks of time and get paid for it, just like you would if you were taking it. We want to change that to be able to, for them to sell back 80 hours instead of 40. Now you can sell it back in increments of 20. So those who may not have so much time, but they still want to get like an extra check, they can sell 20 hours or 40 hours, all the way up to 80 hours. And it kind of encourages those who have huge banks of PTO, they can sell it back and we'll pay them for up to 80 hours. So those are the two major changes in the policy. Like I said, I know there's a lot of like highlighted lines because we have changed some of the language. And we can go over those if you need clarification on any of those, but the two biggest changes is putting the cap in place, which we have none now, on how much time you can carry over from year to year, and increasing the buyback amount from 40 to 80 hours.
And, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
And, Ms. John, when you, that first highlighted, when you got there under the policy, I think that's very important, that last paragraph.
Yes. So I thought that was important to add, just so that employees are, from us to them, are aware that you are responsible for managing your own time. Yes, if you have a lot of time, we are encouraging you to use it. Take time, that's what it's for. That's why we provide PTO time for rest and relaxation, and sometimes you just need to separate. If you're sick, if you have an emergency, that's what PTO is in place for. But at the same time, you know, of course you have those who are on the other side of it and use all that they get, and they always don't have enough PTO time when they need it. So we just put that in there to make them aware that you're responsible for managing your own time. 'Cause we're not going to hold your hand.
Yeah.
We have the program in place, but you need to be able to manage your time responsibly.
Right.
Now, Mr. Chair, if I may, does this pick up from when we vote and go carry forward, or is it retroactive?
This is going to be as of the date you all vote and make it effective going forward. So it's not going to include the time that has been accrued under previous policies. Correct?
They'll keep that, right?
Correct.
As far as the cap, that would be
Yes.
true. Now, the time that has been accrued under previous policies, people can still, you know, get their 80 hours and use that time and all of those things. So I think, I mean, the point, which is a good point, is that we want to assure employees today, current employees, as of December 31st, they're not gonna, employees who have been here 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, we're not just wiping away their time as of December 31st. But what we are trying to do going forward is manage this in a better way so that the county is not carrying a huge debt on its books that's not being represented somewhere. It's just basically better planning going forward.
Okay. Some of the stuff we're into, we got some that's been there a long time. They've got a lot of time built up. I don't. What's gonna affect that time? Well, from whenever we put this policy in effect, December 31st, is anything gonna be affected what they've already got accumulated? We'll pay them out all their hours if they wanted to be paid out, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
But they still will be paid out in accordance with this policy. So they'll have to take it in 20-minute increments. They'll have to have been here at least 3 years. They'll have to have taken a certain amount of leave that year already.
They'll have to be paid out for the new policy standards, right?
They'll be paid out in accordance with the new policy. That's correct.
After
So the
this
time
is
you
set.
accrue and accumulate under the new policy is what is subjected to the new policy. Make sense?
Yeah.
So the time that you had previous to that,
They still
Is your
get
time,
that, but then
yes.
next, and they just can't get paid out but by the new policy's increments.
correct.
Yeah.
Which is actually doubling.
Okay.
Going forward.
At per time, yeah. Any more? Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing with us on that, okay?
Y'all, anything else on it? Joe, you got anything on it?
I don't.
Are you satisfied with it?
Yes, the
Yeah.
only thing I would say, Mr. Chairman, is that, Commissioner Pope and I served on a committee to try to address this issue,
Yeah.
and, one of the things we find out is that, you know, like I say, it's something that we got to get done, you know, because it just keep growing and growing, but when you look at other counties, and we look at a lot of other counties and everything, and find out that this is pretty much, we really being, I guess, a little more generous than a lot of places, because a lot of places have less hours.
Right.
But we trying to look at it from a standpoint of someone, as Ms. Young alluded to, was that if they were out on a sickness and had family medical leave, in that, for the 12-week period, if they, under this 408 hours, they would be compensated for their time. They could use that full 408 hours, and then they would go getting on, I guess, short-term disability, or whatever they would have to get.
Long-term after that.
Long-term disability. So this is something we try to do and look at, you know, in the interest of the employees, you know. And so I think that's commendable, you know, that we try to do that and look out for the employees on that end, but also, but the thing about the accumulation, this is where we got to kind of stop the bleeding right here. And just keep, like I said, keep going over. Now, you can accumulate as many hours you want, but you're gonna only be able to cash in 480 under this current policy.
Get out of it. That way the county don't hold that burden on always.
Right.
Okay. Any more on it? Good point, Larry. Okay,
Chairman,
I hear a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this, what do you call this?
The changes.
Yeah, the changes,
in this
personnel policy.
Changes.
Personnel policy changes, yeah, just in personnel policy changes.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to change these policies. I don't know how you gonna write that up.
Proposed personnel policy,
Okay,
or proposed revisions to the
Paid leave.
paid leave, okay. We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it? If not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Hendricks?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Let's go, support, D, support for local bill impacting Ware County, House Bill 1479. Let's see. That's for give the judge the right to tack on $5 on these charges. Y'all understand that bill? You read it? You see what it is, don't you?
Yeah, I read it.
Are you for it? Ain't either. I hear any discussion on it.
Well, if you want to discuss it, first of all, like I said, I read it, and with us getting ready to have a newly elected probate judge, I think this should be something that whoever that person is, if they want to pursue something like that. And another thing, most thing that the money is gonna be earmarked for, the computer hardware and the lease maintenance and all this stuff, we have an IT department here at the county that takes care of all that, and I think a great IT department.
We got a good
And so, I really can't see the rationale for adding this other fee to this,
Right.
to this, you know, and, so, like I said, and you know, I've been here about 4 years, and Jerry been here a long time. This is the first time this has ever come up, and another thing too is that we weren't privy to even knowing anything about this. When we got anything about it, it had already happened.
Yeah.
And I just have an issue with that sometimes.
I second that motion.
You got, something in? Come on.
Just here for some questions, if you have on the technology bill. It passed the General Assembly, the House, and the Senate, and the governor has sent it to Ware County to ask the governing authority of Ware County if they would support the bill. The $5 fee is what I think it's a technology fee is what it goes along with. It helps offset budgetary cost to local taxpayers. That it's part of an end user agreement. Those who use the service, those who file petitions in the court, whether they're from Ware County or they're from Atlanta or wherever they may be, they're paying that technology fee. And what that does as a taxpayer is it alleviates the burden of us having to pay out of our budget, which is taxes. I live in the city, which pays county and city taxes, but the county don't pay my road, but I pay county taxes. Gives us the ability to have the end user carry some of the cost versus people in the entire county having to pay the cost. So it's a win-win. I'm not always about new fees and new cost that goes along with it, but this is something across the state that other courts in the state of Georgia are doing. And I can't recollect another county not approving it, because what it does, it allows that department, whoever the judge is or whoever is in that position, the ability to collect fees and upgrade systems from the end user who uses that service versus all the burden being on the taxpayer. So it's a win-win.
Okay. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify, just so the board understands, this is a bill that was dropped by local delegation, and so they're asking for you to support it or not support it. So formally, you're not approving it or not approving it, you're just supporting it or not supporting it.
Yeah, okay.
So
Your
that-
motion was not to support it?
The state legislation allows the probate judge to collect a $5 fee regardless, from what we say, right?
Well, they can. So what they've requested, and you'll see it included in your packet, is for any local legislation that affects a county, they request whether the local governing authority supports it or does not support it. So to your point, Commissioner Pope, if your local delegation, your local representative wanted to push the bill through without the county support, that is a possibility, but they asked for that support, and certainly, I think, in many occasions, want to see it before they push a bill through. So, so to understand that your decision today will have an effect, likely, but I just wanted you all to understand that it's not that you're approving or disapproving it, it's that you're telling your local delegation, we support it or we don't support it.
Okay. And this $5 fee, like Mr. Katie was saying, it comes to the end user, right?
That's correct.
So
So
that-
if you file a case in probate court, or if you have a fine in probate court, they'll tack on that $5 fee. That's exactly right.
And in turn, this will it'll actually be the probate court will be paying for the IT instead of the county, instead of the taxpayers of the county. So it actually saves us money.
Well, it actually comes
Not
out of our
necessarily,
budget.
it still be the taxpayers that have to pay it though.
We still got to pay it because what budget they submit is the budget we got to approve. And
Okay.
then this will be attached on top of it. My question is, has Carlos took a cut and pay? He got took a cut and pay, so that's gonna add a little bit to it, right?
I don't know. Why we cutting pay?
That's why I'm asking. If he hadn't took a cut and pay, he's our IT head right there. So if we ain't took.
Oh, he'll take a cut and pay if we take the IT away from him.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
You don't want to do that.
And he's a county employee with longevity.
All right, the motion was,
Okay, did I understand you say that there's a lot of other counties that have already got this?
Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner, they have. And it's a charge for the end user. And what it does, it eliminate or replace IT or any technology. What it does is help subsidize any operating costs for equipment or services for IT services within that department.
we already paid them, right?
Is there an upfront charge? Do we pay anything upfront for this and collect on arrears, or
that.
Are you saying an upfront charge for adding the $5 fee? I'm not sure I understand the question.
What I understand behind this legislation is there's an actual computer software update, all this good stuff that we've talked about now for the third time, that the county would have to adopt that starts with an $88,000 fee up front, and then there's an annual fee every year. That's the way it was presented by Judge Bennett before.
I don't know if that's the intent or not.
This is not anything compared to whatever you're talking about. This is.
I don't think those two are related.
County to enter into a contract. It is just basically legislation that allows a $5 fee to be tacked on to the end user to be used for technology services. Say, for instance, if we had to buy 3 computers or 4 computers, there would be funding in place that would help subsidize the cost that would cost the taxpayer. Say if we had, if the computers costed $10,000 that you had to have in probate. Instead of that entire $10,000 coming out of the general fund, you have a technology fund, a $5 piece.
That helps cover the cost.
Well, that subsidizes it. So your end user helping put some of the bill, it's a win, you know. It's kind of like a road, like, I don't want to say a toll road, but it'd be like paving your road, Mr. Griff, that I don't drive down your road, you know. But if I'm going to use your road and there's a toll, then I would pay that toll.
Yeah, I know what it is, it's just another burden, and I ain't for it.
Well, another thing, and I wish, in hindsight, that somebody had just at least come over and just, as a courtesy, say, hey, this is something we think, and kind of explain it on the front end. But like I said, when we got this, it pretty much had already been done.
And sir, out of respect to you and the board, I am not the probate judge. I'm an employee of the probate court, and I'm here just speaking on that behalf.
Well,
but I do appreciate your concerns and questions, and if there's anything that I can answer, I'd be glad to, but I can't answer for anything else. I'm sure the county manager, I was told Judge Bennett, the county manager, has been in communication for the last month with this.
about this?
Yes.
First I heard it was in this meeting room, and the probate judge was sitting where Melinda is right now. That was at the last
in the
meeting.
room when he called you on the phone.
That was after the fact.
Do we furnish the computers over there at the judge's office?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, well, what we need this for?
Well,
Huh?
to say, I understand parts of what he's talking about, but again, like I said, I wish they had somebody come and let us know kind of what was going on, you know, and that way we kind of understand it a little bit better. But when we got it, it's just right here on us, you know.
I was never told it was a house bill. From what I understood, the way the probate judge explained it to me was he needed a letter to send to the governor. And that's how it was stated to me, which I didn't understand what that meant until there was an email forwarded me from Mr. Sorby, Calvin Sorby, and that's how I understood it pertained to a house bill that had passed.
Yeah, because I think the first correspondence I got from you was, does anybody know anything about this? No, I didn't.
There's,
And so,
Okay. Y'all satisfied? Y'all know enough about it now?
yeah, and one other thing, Mr. Chairman, I guess all of a sudden it's come up out of all these years and everything, then all of a sudden now it's just coming up about this $5
Yeah.
fee, so.
And
it's
we're
something-
fitting to get a new judge.
Yeah, and I think, again, to begin with, like I said, whoever the new probate judge is or whatever, maybe they can come in and explain it more about why they want to do this and show us how it's beneficial, you know. Not saying that you haven't explained your point, Mr. Katie, but like I said, just, when something just thrown on me like that, I just have, you know, some reservation about it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, I'm just a messenger, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we have a motion Did you state your motion again, Jerry? Didn't you take the motion? Okay, did I hear a motion?
I made the motion, I'm not in support of it, that's just my motion, this
Okay.
House Bill 1479.
Yeah. Okay, I got a motion not to support it. Got a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Let's vote on it. Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Hendricks? And the chair vote aye. Okay, not supported. All right. Go on to the next one. Okay, E, Resolution 2024-08, special election to fill vacancy for District 4. Okay. Carla, can you come up and tell us when we could have the election, or do you know when we can have it? Is there a date set on it? Have there been a date set?
Mr. Chairman, we can't set a date until you all approve it, but the date would be the November election, which this year falls November the 5th, is that correct? Let me look back and double check that, but yes, November the 5th.
We need to just,
Mr. Chairman, last time this came up, our last meeting, it was brought up, the
Table.
possibility you didn't have to have an election. Was that straightened out?
Sammy brought something up,
Yeah.
and,
We never got
Clear on where we are.
did
information
you
on
ever
it.
get a clarification on that?
No, sir, it's not real clear. But I'm with whichever way y'all wanna go about it. I look at it as we have 365 days to do so. We will never get to 365 days to do it. So we're only talking about one meeting, possible two.
Yeah.
Is it gonna cost the taxpayers any money to have this special election? If it is, why are we even doing it?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. So, we can vote on it and however way we wanna go. Is it gonna cost taxpayers any money? How much money?
Will
it cost us, Carlos, to have a special election?
Come up and talk, if you don't mind.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this bill, if it's in the law, it must be done. It'll be on the general election, which is already set. There will be no additional, things that we have to do other than just have it on the ballot. There will be no additional costs on balloting or poll workers or precinct. This is just a part of the general election, the presidential general election.
So,
We can have it on the general election.
It'll be the November
okay.
5th general election, yes, sir.
so, am I understanding, basically it won't cost the county any additional monies?
There's no additional fees that we would have to pay. There was no additional ballot, there was no additional poll workers or precincts or anything like that we have to do.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, when I asked the question, our county attorney and county clerk both shook their head, it cost us money. So,
A special election.
A regular special election would, but this is
Okay.
in conjunction with already.
so it's not a special election now.
This is a special election.
Well, yeah, but what he's saying is he's gonna run it in that election. He won't have to call a different date.
Yes,
If it's fall on that same date, it don't cost him.
that's
No,
correct.
that's- okay.
This will be a part of the general election. This is still a special election for that seat.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the general election
Okay.
as far as budgetary.
In other words, it's not just a standalone, where, say if you had to have it in July and there wasn't no other election, then it would cost.
Then we would have to open up a
Right.
precinct just for that election,
Right.
do balloting and.
When is, when is your term in on,
December
December
31st.
31st.
no, dear,
Well, the
since you was
seats-
appointed to?
December
6 months.
31st.
Well,
Oh, you can go all the way to December?
Yes, sir.
Well, why are we having an election? Cause
That's
the
what,
new mayor.
that's the question I'm asking. So
So
we
the-
couldn't do it
it-
wording is
before.
not correct.
I thought y'all
It
said
is,
you can only
it is very
set 6 months.
complicated and very convoluted, I will agree with that. So technically, he is filling the term that expires December 31st. Now, this is the way that your local law is set up. There is a state law that says how a commissioner vacancy is to be filled. It applies across the state unless you have a local law that supersedes that. You all do. Your local law says we don't fill it in accordance with the county commissioner vacancy statute. We fill any county commissioner's vacancies in accordance with the clerk of court statute. This likely, occurred way before any of y'all were around. Okay, so then we go back to state law to look, well, how do you fill a vacancy in clerk of court? Commissioner Hendrick's point is correct. It says you have to have, and it depends on when the vacancy occurs. Does it occur the first couple of years? Does it occur when there's, it depends on the timing of the vacancy. So because of the timing of this vacancy, and then this is again set out in the memo done for you all, because of the timing of the vacancy, it's our opinion that we've rendered for your benefit is that you need to have the probate judge appointed an interim, which is what Commissioner Hendricks is serving. You need to have a special election. There's only certain dates that can occur in even and odd numbered years. This year, the next date and only date remaining that can occur that also falls within the timeline required in the statute is the November 5th election. So as of that election date, whoever is elected will then serve for the remaining period between the election date and the remainder of the term until December 31st. So although it's accurate to say the end of the term is December 31st, whoever is elected on November 5th, there'll actually be two elections for this one position. There'll be the election to fill the remainder of the term, so until December 31st. Then there'll be the election to fill the 4 years for the new term. And although I agree with you, and I will say, we approach this from, well, that seems ridiculous to have a special election, for only 2 meetings. We believe that's what the law says, and, we're paid to advise you all as to that. So that's what's before you. Even though I do agree, that seems somewhat illogical, but it's where we are.
That's just how the calendar worked out.
It's just how the calendar worked out this year. If the vacancy had occurred at a different time, there would have been a different process. We could have had the election, on a different.
And if we say, like Commissioner Hendricks was saying down there, if we just say, well, okay, we're not gonna have a special election, we just gonna let it go to December 31st, then we will be violating the law.
I would not recommend that, because then I think it puts any vote taken by that position in question
Okay.
as not properly seated.
Right.
We just have to go by what the state law says then and go ahead and do it.
You got a question back there?
Mr. Chairman, what if nobody qualifies for this silly little deal?
For 1 month, they only be elected for 1 month, 2 months.
You can.
We don't know. We're gonna have to try it and see though. Carla says we're gonna have to try it and see, so what, you got?
Commissioner Hendricks?
Yeah.
I just got a question. If me or my opponent, which I'm running for the seat, if me or my opponent wins in May, can we run in one in November?
Yes.
That's correct. I guess they can. They can run again, can't they?
Yes.
Get that? Okay.
I own property in District 4. Think about it, the part of the county that I live in, or my property in down there, Axon County maintains the road. They already told me it's
You
2
coming
steps
back?
high.
You coming back?
2 yards. That has been put in it. I live, the property on Duncan Bridge Road and Taylor Chapel Road. The county, I done got where Steve, I done talked to him on the phone several times about the road. They ain't nobody mowed the road in over 4 to 5 years. The size has grown up. If we get something done,
I don't know.
Mr. Chairman.
We into something else now. I don't get you.
I done called county maintenance barn, I done talked to Steve.
Let us finish this right here, and I'll let you come back up. Okay, 'cause you're talking about a road now. Let's don't get off the subject. Okay, we're gonna have to have the election then. We need to vote on it, right?
I think Commissioner Hendricks may have something else to say.
What it states is you have You cannot do it before 6 months, 120 days. Then you have to do it before 365 days. We're not gonna get to 365 days, so we don't have to actually do it. The law don't state we have to do it. You have to get to 365 days first, and what are we gonna get to? 180? We'll still have another 200 days almost to go before we actually have to do it. And that's a have to do. That's what it states. That's what the law states. We have to do it before 365 days.
The law states probate judge's appointment is valid up to 365 days. That's state law.
So we're never even gonna get to 365.
Gentlemen, you know, if y'all like to
I
pay
make a
Mr.
motion.
Hendricks for his legal opinion, I am certainly glad. Y'all certainly can make the decision you want. But I want to read what the statute says, just so we're all on the same page. When a vacancy is filled when a vacancy is filled and it is more than 6 months from the date when the clerk vacated office until the next general election is held, the election superintendent for the county shall call a special election to fill the vacancy, comma. It doesn't say may, it says shall call, and then it gives you the provisions within which you shall call the election. So again, respectfully, it's your decision to make, but the memo outlines what the law says on it.
Okay. We're gonna have to call it then.
I make a motion, we vote on the special election, to fill this District 4 vacancy.
I'll second it.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it?
What's your motion?
Let's vote on it.
Have the election.
Have a special election. The fees have been set, just like it is. Okay, you got that, clerk?
David clarified the motion to approve.
Okay, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Aye. Mr. Lucas? Aye. Mr. Hendrick?
Nay.
And the chair votes aye. Okay. Okay, this F, resolution for 2024-10, approve the MOU with the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Y'all
Commissioners.
got that? Y'all not talk during the meeting. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a 3-year, this is our 3rd year in this grant that's being awarded by the Georgia's Recreation and Park Association. This is for the, excuse me, during the summer, the out-of-school program for the rec department. And it's a grant of $35,000. We've done this 2 previous years, and this is our 3rd year.
Would John Steele
Cover
be in
page there.
order, please? Okay. I hear a motion on it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this, what is it?
MOU,
MOU of the,
Georgia Recreation and Parks.
Association
Okay.
boost program.
So we're adopting the resolution?
Yes. Resolution 2024-10.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on that resolution. Any discussion on it? Got anything on it? If not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas? Aye. Mr. Hendrick?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Now let's go to G, resolutions 2024-11, approved intergovernmental agreement with the Ware County Board of Education.
This resolution approves, as it says, an intergovernmental agreement
With the Ware County Board of Education for joint use of facilities and recreational uses. It's primarily for ball fields and maybe the gymnasium. And it could be some of the meeting rooms at the rec department. We do this annually. The Board of Education will not approve any agreement beyond 1 year. So this is the second, I think maybe even the third, I believe, the third year also with this agreement. And it's from April 24, which is Wednesday, and it will terminate next June 2025.
I thought we had done something similar to that on the, ball team, where they play ball at night.
That was,
Is this the same?
no, sir, it was, I think you're thinking of the Midnight Basketball League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the city, and they moved that over to the, I believe, to the, middle school, Waycross Middle School. Somewhat similar, but, this is just to be able to use fields and facilities.
Okay. This just gives them a agreement that both of them can join.
Yeah, I think, my understanding is that whenever the city, I mean, not the city, but the school system, if they need to use our facilities for something,
They can.
that they can use it, and they got certain things in here about who's responsible for cleanup, who's responsible
Right.
for security, and vice versa with the rec. Sometimes they may need to use the school
Okay.
facilities, so kinda go, hand in hand, both of them, so it just fails.
And they work that out. The school system has a facility use form, and we would do that on our side. That way it keeps up with what because their facilities are used by many people. That way it keeps it tracked. But for ours, normally the school board will get in touch with the rec director and see if the field's available or the gym's available.
Okay.
It's just that they require an agreement to do that in schools.
Okay. All right. I hear a motion that we accept this resolution.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept Resolution 2024-11 to approve intergovernmental agreement with the Ware County Board of Education.
Okay, got a second?
Second.
You got a second, okay. Any discussion on it? If not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris.
Aye.
Mr. Pope. Mr. Lucas.
Aye.
Mr. Henry. Aye. And the chair votes aye. Okay, now we got appointment H, appointment Ware County Recreation Advisory Board. And, have y'all got any, I think Leonard got a list. I saw a list, let's see, where is that at? Did you come up with that list there you got, Leonard, on yours?
Yeah, no, I think the manager asked for us to submit, names and, for each of us to submit names, so.
Yeah.
Leave some of the names and talking, and one name that's not on here is Alicia Gibson, which is half served on that board before and is willing to serve again. And also Mr. Carlos Nelson, Phyllis Paula, and, Martin Cheatham, Rudy Solomon, and, Maylene Tanner. I think Ms. Tanner's already on there.
Yeah.
Right now, her term is not up, I believe.
I think
How many can we have on there?
7 total.
7?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's
Have y'all
already-
got anybody?
You've got 2 already.
It's 2 already.
You got 2, so we need 5.
Right.
You really
I'll
need
give
5.
each one of us one person. Who you want?
I would
Let's-
like to, nominate Mr. Carlos Nelson to serve on the,
Okay.
rec advisory board.
I'd like Mike Thigpen to sit on it.
Who?
Mike Thigpen.
That's who I would recommend.
That's what I was.
Oh, well, y'all get one too. Well, who you want?
That's what I was.
Who else? We done got Mike.
Alicia Gibson, we got her, Alicia Gibson.
No, we got
Sandy.
Carlos Nelson.
Who you want?
Give me the last one, I reckon, I want,
Just name, who you want to sit on that?
Phyllis
recreation?
Poller, be fine with me, Phyllis Poller.
Phyllis,
If these are the 5 we're choosing from, all of us gonna get 1 apiece.
one apiece, yeah.
Well, that's just the 5 I got now. I mean, y'all.
Yeah,
all
but
five
he's
be
not-
in.
Well,
he's not-
see, we can only have 5, so I said if we, all the commission have 1 apiece.
Alicia Gibson.
Lisa Gibson, okay. And Mr. Burris, who would you?
Carlos Nelson.
All right, on Mike Thigpen.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Now you got me thinking
Well, I
again.
can see who called me
Who you
too.
want?
I thought we was right here on this list.
Commissioner Hendricks, just to clarify, you do not have to choose from this list. You may choose.
No,
from
you don't have to choose from this list.
It's
You
just
get
the ones I
anybody you want
submitted.
to in your community that would do it.
Hey, I'm good with Michael too. He called me about it.
Well, Mike, we done got him, so we
I
need to know. Barry Cox would be a good one.
I'll second.
Oh,
He's
no, he
only-
wants
he's
to
only
sit on
one
that
that-
recreation board.
He's the only one that I've talked to about was Michael.
Who else lives out there that you know of?
I would like Davis Delk.
David
myself.
Dale?
Mhm.
Okay.
He's already on here, and I know, the director had talked to, and said he
All
didn't
right.
come to many meetings, but
David Dale?
I'd like to appoint him, Davis Delk. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna sue you for sexual harassment.
I know.
So now we're waiting on Timmy.
One more. All right, Timmy, who you got?
1 minute, 30 seconds. Mike Thigpen.
He's already on. Can't have him again.
They all three of us can't have him.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Got, what about,
I'm nominating this through. I'm on it through.
Recreation Board?
Recreation Board.
You sit on it? Okay. All right. Okay, the 5 names, I guess, is Mike Thigpen, David Dell, Ramona Thrift, Carlos Nelson, and who did you say?
Alicia Gibson.
Lisa Gibson. Okay, you got those?
And for the minutes, I believe is it Davis Dell? Davis.
Davis Delk.
No, okay. All righty, let's, vote on them.
So I wanna make, so the members that we're nominating for the advisory board are who now?
Okay,
County Clerk.
Carlos Nelson. I didn't write that down. What'd you say?
Alicia Gibson.
Lisa Gibson,
Mr.
Mike Thigpen, David Dell, and Moni Thrift.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, we got a motion? Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, if we may, I was trying to figure out who the two were that had already agreed to serve. Do you
I
all
think
remember?
they already on there, I can't,
Who, oh yeah, you need 7. Okay, what you said 2 was already, was that 2 on your list?
Mr. Delk and Ms. Gibson were both on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are? Well, we,
I got mine.
Well, these expirations December 31st.
okay.
now who are the two that's on there now, that's already on there? Is it Martin
I
Cheatham?
mean, I'm assuming this is gonna be for the 2025 year.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
one of them, Martin Cheatham, based on, according to this, his term expires the end of this year. And then,
Davis does
Davis,
too.
Dell. So that's the two that's already on there.
Yeah, all of them do.
So
And,
that's,
It's just advisory
Madeline
committee.
Tanner.
right, so now we get another 5 now.
Okay.
And then you have this Maydeen Tanner too. Her terms, expires 31st of December. So we got really 3 on here that the terms expire, but I
One
don't
of them said
know
they didn't want to return.
which one was that.
I don't know.
Okay, so we just, 5 is what we really need to be concerned
yes.
about.
So we got,
Now, if you need more time, we can move it.
so we still need some more
But
then.
yeah, if you wanna check with someone else, you can do that too.
And what we probably want to clarify, like with Mr. Dell, if he's agreeable to serving out the remainder of his term, he can serve until the end of the year, and then you all in the normal course of business would reappoint him in
Reappoint.
January, and then fill these other positions, determine who's willing to serve out the remainder of their current term, and then who is not.
Chairman, I would think that since we got 5, we all agreed on here that we gonna vote on those, and then Cause these people, actually, their term don't expire till the end of the year anyway.
I think 2 of the 5 agreed on are already on the list. Alicia Gibson and David Stell.
Mm-hmm.
You're through December.
Alicia Gibson,
Okay, they already on it, then we gotta have 2 in the place of them then. Two
term is
but her
expired.
term expired in 2022.
Right, so we can reappoint her, but we still need 5 additional names outside of those 2.
Can we
If-
table this till next meeting and get all this straightened out?
You know that.
Well, we talked about it last time, so we done tabled it one time. This is the second time.
We didn't talk, yeah, we're gonna get the list, give everybody a chance to contact everybody.
Yeah, we told everybody to bring some names this time.
Yeah, and
You remember?
that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying we just gonna
What
vote
we
on the
was
one we
supposed to.
got, and then we can deal with the one, like I said, it's, which Ms. Gibson already on there.
Right.
And,
See, Leonard, the only one did his homework. I told him to bring a list of everybody, and he did what he's supposed
so I
to.
get a red apple for that?
Hey, you get a red apple for that, Leonard. You
Okay.
did what you supposed to. Y'all bring y'all's list?
We
did.
all
She's
bring the
sitting
same
right there.
person.
Okay. So we need 2 more.
We need to know who, I think what we need to establish is who currently on the board is willing to continue
To
to
stay.
serve. And determine when their term expires, and then once we know that, we will determine, I think you all named 3 new names tonight that are not names that I see listed on here, so likely you'll need 2 more. But we won't know that until we determine who has agreed to continue serving.
I think Ms. Gibson, she agreed to serve.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so.
then Mr. Dell.
I'll call him and see.
Now,
You
Mr.
know
Dell,
anybody else that would serve? Do y'all got anybody else in mind?
I do. Sam Hendricks,
Sam, you will?
my daddy. No.
Okay. Your daddy?
If I can appoint somebody out of my family.
Yeah.
Okay. Put his
Okay,
name
Sam
down there.
Hendricks, he'll,
Why?
No, she ain't going.
your daddy? Okay,
His name's Sam though. Don't put your daddy, don't write your
Sam
daddy.
Hendricks.
Just for the minutes, if we don't mind, could we let Mr. Lucas appoint Mr. Hendricks, and then the father, Mr. Hendricks, and then let Mr. Hendricks appoint Mr. Bell?
Okay.
Well, I appointed
Or you got, okay.
Ramona,
Yeah,
3.
or somebody, just,
All right.
listen.
You.
Leonard, you got another one you want to point?
No, I
Did you
got Carlos
serve?
Nelson. Carlos
How many
Nelson.
more you gotta have?
One more.
Mr. Sam Hendricks.
We got Sam on there. She said we needed 2.
But
One
you,
more.
she don't for the minutes, not him. You say.
Instead of me appointing him.
Yeah, I know. He appointed. Okay. Or I appointed. It don't matter. Anyway, I got his name down.
I've got somebody else that wants to be on.
Okay,
Daniel
who?
Warren.
Who?
Daniel
That'd be a good
Warren.
one.
James Warren.
Daniel.
Warren.
Daniel Warren.
That'd be a real good one.
You wanna do that one?
We're gonna end up with 100 people on there.
Yeah, man.
You got that one? Daniel Warren and Sam Hendricks.
No.
Okay?
All right, the very last step is to determine who will serve in each position, so we know when their term expires. And so if you all don't have a preference, then we can have the clerk fill in those positions before you vote. Or if you have a preference, then we certainly will adjust it to your preference.
One thing that we did discuss, and Scott sent it to us, the bylaws of the board for revision. There were some revisions that came up, so maybe you can figure out the years when they changed that. Look at that.
You know, those were changed, I wanna say, about 6, 7 years ago.
Right.
Forgot what
It's
was-
tweaked in it, but, yeah. But I can send those out to you, let everybody look at them.
For the next meeting to see what
Yeah,
revisions,
yeah.
like the length of
Yeah,
service.
correct.
And, yeah, the length of service on that.
Okay, what revision is it? Under these revisions that you have now, is the way we're gonna vote on it?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That
Yeah.
shouldn't affect anything
The
there.
term and term limits are fine.
Term.
That's what we changed.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
changed
the
the
part
term.
that we changed 5, 6 years ago.
So what's the term limits now?
What's it? 2
Five.
years? Huh?
5 years.
Oh, 5 years?
Did
They
you
can
say
serve
something
5
about
years.
wanna look at maybe changing that to 3 years?
2 to 3. 3.
Okay.
That's something we could do after the people.
Should be able to do that after our thing. Can we?
Okay.
You got one,
Yeah.
20,
Would you give us that list, clerk, call them out, and then we'll vote on them then?
All right, what I've got is Carlos Nelson, Mike Thigpen, Daniel Warren, Alicia Gibson, Ramona Thrift, and Sam Hendricks.
Okay. Y'all, I hear a motion that we
So
appoint
move,
him.
Mr. Chairman.
Second. You got a second
Got
down
a
there?
second?
Second.
Okay,
Lucas,
got a second. All right, any discussion?
with authority to the county manager to delineate the terms,
To
Yes.
change them?
or just to fill in which person serves in which post.
Is,
Does that make sense? So
is
there's
they
certain,
districts or something?
yeah,
I
there's
mean,
certain terms that will expire in 2 years, in 3 years, and so we need to either identify for the minutes which ones they'll be in, or we need to give someone the authority to put them in those.
let's,
I heard
let's give,
Mr. Moore would have the authority.
They were staggered, they're staggered terms, so
Right.
that way you'd always have carryover. And so what we could do, the way to do it probably from a fair standpoint would be to put them in as, in alphabetical order.
okay,
That way, there's no, and then that way, if somebody comes, if their term expires, they can always be
Always
reappointed,
be
and they just carry on, so,
okay.
yeah.
Would that be all right? Yep. Okay. Now, we got a motion and a second, any more discussion on it? Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas? Mr. Hendricks? Chair votes aye, okay? Okay, I hear a motion to go in executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion, yeah, okay?
And then we have to designate the reason. Is it real estate, personnel?
Personnel.
Personnel, yeah.
Second.
A motion to enter into an executive session to discuss personnel. Okay, got a motion and a
Second.
second. Let's vote. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas? Mr. Henry? And the chair votes aye. All right. go back.
Oh, boy.
Come on. Where'd Leonard go?
He went to the restroom, he's coming right back.
You spray you down?
No.
It's lavender headache relief spray. That's what it says. It's exactly what it says.
I need to go get me some.
Have you ever tried? You might want to try it.
No,
It might work.
that don't work for real. Leonard's got Jennifer on the clock now.
Huh?
I said Leonard's got Jennifer on the clock.
Where'd they?
You know why? Get my blood pressure.
What's your take?
I hear a motion that we close the executive session.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Got a second, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. All right, executive session closed. Now, we have any commission comments?
Mr. Chairman, I got a motion I'd like to make. I'd like to make the motion to give the county manager authority to pay employees retiring in good standing their accumulated PTO time in accordance with the revised PTO policy approved today, April 22nd, 2024, and to pay longtime employees who accumulated time under the old policy language in full. That's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Got a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, okay? Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson? Aye. Mr. Pope? Aye. Mr. Lucas? Aye. Mr. Henry?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. All right.
Oh, good.
Any more comment?
I don't.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say that, we had a fly-in, I think it was the 13th at the airport out there that was very successful. We had approximately about 75 kids that went up, flew. Had, I think 4 planes that come in and, had the team from, Eastman, the flying school, they brought 4 of their planes down just for to support us, you know. And, it was very good, and just want to thank everyone that was part of that success out there. It was very nice. The weather was nice, and people enjoyed it. And it's a brainchild of Deacon John Ratcliffe. He's the one that started this. This was the 3rd year. And so we just want to thank everyone. Our county clerk was very instrumental in helping us get a lot of stuff done, and she was right in there as a team player. And so we want to thank all the people that donated, like Pepsi with the beverages, and then we had people that did the, I had it wrote down here, get it. See, Pepsi, the beverages, Mr. Curtis Ryle and the sheriff department, assisted with the golf cart. Georgia State Patrol, they had a static display out there. The Georgia Forestry, the Ware County Public Works, Michael Brooks, Mr. Frank Patanowitz and his staff, they did just a very good job of accommodating everything and made everything go real smooth out there. And Ms. Ludine Whitfield, Ms. Yolanda Rivers. So it was a lot of people, and if I failed to call in there one name that did something, I apologize in advance, but it was very good.
Good. Okay.
Good deal.
Any more? We had a lot of tragedies this week in Ware County. We had 5 deaths.
7.
7?
I believe it was 7.
7?
The other 2 died. I know 2 was in intensive care.
And I understand that the baby, the infant that was flown to Jacksonville, did.
Yeah, the infant died.
And also, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Norman Davis, City Commissioner,
Had a
he
heart attack.
passed.
He did?
Yeah, Commissioner Norman Davis, so
Okay,
our president thoughts with that family also.
yeah.
So that would
Yes.
count toward that number too.
Let your prayers and your thoughts be with those families. I know that's a big tragedy. There was a lot of losses there. Young people too.
Yeah.
It was young. The 3 black boys got in a wreck out there. 2 of them killed, wasn't they?
Yeah.
And they were young boys.
One's in,
One's in intensive care. I don't know where, is he dead? Is he
I
back?
don't know, they were life flighted him to Jacksonville, I believe it was.
Ooh, Lord.
I think he's still hanging on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Let's pay for
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.